Right. What's up? What's happening? We are rolling now. We are getting the ball rolling. What's happening, people? What's good? Happy Monday. Isn't it great? Isn't it great? I'm loving it. It was actually kind of dark out, but the sun's popping out, so I'm feeling better. But yeah, happy fucking Monday, people. Hope y'all enjoyed your weekend. Hope you all went full send this fucking weekend. Yeah, I'm watching you guys. Um, Jokes aside, though, we're gonna be talking about three simple tips. It's been a while since I actually gave you guys and girls some advice. I've been on that hype up shit for a while, but I'm gonna actually give you guys and girls some advice today. Three simple tips on how to actually burn 25 pounds before March. Okay, so it's gonna be real simple, real straightforward, real quick, um, kind of broad, but it's all the information that you need to hear in order to get yourself to lose 25 pounds before March. Right? It's not rocket science. I promise you, most of the stuff that you are going to be listening to in this like podcast episode is going to hit home, and you're going to be able to like apply it and lose that 25 pounds right before March. Okay, and I'm not with that like New Year's resolution shit. I'm not even like gonna fucking like leave that alone, because if you're serious about changing your body, it doesn't matter what time it is. Sense? You know what I'm saying? Homie says, "Coach me, brah." Uh, no, definitely. Shoot me a DM. I'll see if you qualify for the program. Again, I don't take on just anybody. I take on serious individuals that are willing to fucking hustle and put their money where their mouth is. Because honestly, talk is cheap. All right. So let me just pin the comment here in the live stream for Instagram. And then without wasting any time, we're going to dive right on into the podcast, episode number 3, titled 3 Steps to Burn 25 Pounds Before March. Okay. Boom. All right. So if you guys and girls, if you have any questions, you have any things you want to talk about, please bring them up now before I dive into the podcast, because once I'm in this podcast flow, I'm going to mute all of the comments until I'm done the podcast, so that I can get all the information out the way it needs to be delivered without any interruptions. Okay? Because again, I'm paying respect to the people that are actually listening to me on the other side. All right? So I hope you're having a fucking amazing day. We're going to tune into this live stream podcast in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, guys and girls, welcome to the Natural Nomad podcast, where we keep it real about how we feel and what we deal with in life. Disclaimer, I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Not because I want to be mean, but because I fucking respect you. So if you tune in and decide to give me the time out of your life that you know you'll never get back, the very least I can do for you is keep it a stack. Now that that's out the way, let's chat with IFBB Pro Matt Butale. Let's fucking go. Let's get raw. All right, guys and girls, what's up, chess bras and chess broads? You know what's good. We're hanging out here today. We're going to talk about I'll say 3 quick tips on actually how to get 25 pounds off before this March. Okay, so I'm going to like just keep it a stack here. Let you guys and girls know that New Year's resolution mindset, fuck off with it. I don't want to hear anything about that. This year I want to do this. This year I want to do that. Like, fucking set your goal. Lovely. But talk is cheap. Okay? Actions are fucking, like, you better speak with your actions. Like, that's the number one thing you better be doing, especially coming to the new year, if that's something you have not been doing. All right? So without wasting any time, let's dive into tip number 1 on how to actually lose 25 pounds of body fat and water weight before March. All right. So, okay, tip number 1, straight the fuck up. Start now. Don't wait till after Christmas. Don't wait till New Year's Day. All right. If you really want something to change, you're going to start doing what you need to do now to get it to change for later. You're not going to plan the change for later to start later, right? You're going to do it now. And then everything else that you're doing now is going to pay you back later. Okay. Because if you try to plan it later, between now and the time that you start, there's a whole lot of dead time. You're not doing anything. And there's no real good excuse, unless you're dead or in the hospital, to not do something that you want to fucking do. Okay, so tip number 1 is start now. Don't wait till New Year's or after Christmas. And another thing too, having that mindset really does breed procrastination, right? Like it makes you think that you can always put it off till later, no matter what it is, no matter how important or how unimportant it is. Start shit now when it's more difficult. Start shit now when you feel like you're, probably not going to have the easiest ride through, because to face it, let's be honest, you're not going to always want to feel like doing it 25/8. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, let's keep it a stack here, bro. Like, and girls, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to always want to do it every day, right? So if you can start on a day that you don't actually even want to start and get shit done, that's a good skill to have. That's something that you need in order to succeed in losing your weight and doing anything in your life, honestly, to be honest with you. So get used to starting just fucking now. Just start now when you're uncomfortable. That's tip number one. All right. Don't wait till New Year's Day or after Christmas. All right. Is that making sense? If that's making sense, just nod your head in the background. All right. Tip number two. All right. Tip number two, when it comes to 3 steps to burning 25 pounds before March of 2022, is focus on small improvements. Okay. So focus on small improvements. What does that mean? Well, you're not going to lose 25 pounds in 1 month. And if you do, like, fucking cool. Like, I'll just drop a little story here for those of you that have been watching my live streams and listening to my podcasts for the past couple of months. Last year, November 2020, I lost 30 pounds in about 28 days to get ready for a show, and I had to crash diet, which is something I do not recommend you guys and girls do, but it's something that I did in order to get ready for that show, because it was a last minute sort of notification. They're like, hey, the show might not happen because of COVID, but it does happen. So it did happen anyway. We did the thing and we won, of course. I was being coached by Brett Godin, Phoenix Fitness, shameless plug. But I realized, okay, first of all, I'm not a regular human being when it comes to training. Like, I'm now a professional bodybuilder, and I did so naturally. I turned pro naturally, which is what makes me a natural nomad. And you too, if you're listening to this, you're a natural nomad at heart. But the thing is this, I can't expect you, and you can't expect yourself to play at the level of, a professional bodybuilder. So don't go into this shit with like, the mindset, I'm going to lose 25 pounds in 1 fucking month, or like a ridiculous amount of weight in a short period of time. Okay. No, focus on the small improvements. Okay. Focus on small improvements. You're not going to lose 25 pounds in 1 month. If you do, you're probably Matt or someone like that's fucking like intense or really, really driven for this shit, which you don't have to be to lose 25 pounds, just to put it out there. All right. So I want to also mention this too. So focusing on small improvements, we know that you're not going to lose 25 pounds in 1 month. Duh. Focus on losing about 1.5 to 2 pounds per week. All right. 1.5 to 2 pounds per week. Right. And the reason why you want to, focus on having that sort of pace, on keeping that sort of, or losing weight at that rate, is because if you lose weight at under 2 pounds per week, you have, like, your body is going to have an even better ability to retain as much muscle as possible. And the more muscle you retain, the more fat will actually burn while you're rested. Your basal metabolic rate, that will increase when you have more lean tissue on your frame. Okay. So if that's the case, that means if you focus on losing weight slower, and you keep and or gain muscle in the process, it's going to work more in your favor. Although it sounds ironic, like you're losing weight slower, that means you're not losing weight as fast, right? Like, that's weird. Like, aren't you supposed to just like gun it? Like, no, that's crash dieting. And you're going to feel weak if you do that. You're going to feel lethargic if you do that. And to be honest with you, it's just not going to be sustainable for a long period of time or for a lifetime. And you want this to be sustainable. You don't want this to be like something you do quickly and then forget about, and then all the weight that you lost comes back. That's a recurring trend I see for maximum sustainability. All right. Also, just a little bit of quick math for you guys and girls here. Quick math. All right. You want to lose 25 pounds before March 2022? Let's do some quick math. If you're losing 1.5 pounds per week, which is 100% fucking doable, by the way, it's not like crazy. Like, you can still eat a good amount of food and lose 1.5 pounds per week. Let's do some math. Okay, there's about 14 weeks till March from now. From this time, the time that this podcast is being recorded, there's about 14 weeks, approximately, maybe a little less. So 1.5 pounds per week for 14 weeks and March. Okay, that's what I want you to recognize. Between now and March, you're going to be losing 28 pounds if you lose 2 pounds a week. Okay, so 1.5 to 2 pounds per week. If you're anywhere in between there consistently, you're definitely going to lose 25 pounds before March, and it'll be sustainable because you won't have to starve yourself to get there, and you'll be able to keep and put on muscle while you do that. So not only will you look better, but your body will metabolize nutrients even better. Okay, so focus on small improvements. You're not going to lose 25 pounds in a month. You just won't. You can't. And if you do, then it's not the best way to do it. I'm telling you personally, take it from a pro. All right. So the third thing, the last tip, all right, the last tip when it comes to 3 steps to burning 25 pounds before March hits, okay, is it ties into the second one a little bit, but let's just get a little bit more specific. A slight calorie deficit. Okay, a slight calorie deficit, guys and girls. Don't starve yourself trying to lose weight fast. Instead, do more work and eat more. This is something that I actually learned in this prep when I prepared myself for my most recent competition, where I actually earned my IFBB Pro card naturally. Normally, in any other prep, I would eat a little or a lot less and do a little bit less work because I understood, if you're in a caloric deficit, then what's going to happen? Your body is going to burn off a lot more calories, or sorry, burn off a lot more fat as you burn your calories when you train, and it's going to pull the weight down for you a lot like faster, right? But comparing that to doing what I did this prep, I actually ate more this prep than I would in any other prep. And I did more work in the gym. I spent more time doing cardio. I spent more time lifting, right? And I'm not here to say, like, especially if you're busy, to spend all of your time at the gym, but I'm definitely saying it's better to eat more food and train harder than to eat less food and train less. Does that make sense? Because the more you train and the more you give yourself food to eat, your body can metabolize the foods, put on as much muscle tissue as possible. And another plus is your weight will be going down without you feeling fucking hungry. Like, you won't starve and your weight will still be going down. And that's like the number one thing that you need to implement if you want this to be sustainable. Make sense? So don't starve yourself trying to lose weight fast. Instead, eat more and do more work. Okay, a slight calorie deficit, not a large one. That's what's going to take you there in the long run. Okay, I also want to bring up, do not restrict foods from your life only to binge eat them when you can't fucking control it. All right, find a way to incorporate it once you already get an established structure, though, right? So you have an established structure, you know what your breakfast looks like and 3 meals look like after breakfast every single day, right? If you have a structure and like you are following it, your digestive system gets used to it and you can metabolize, literally everything from your nutrition. And when it comes to time for it, you can give yourself that pizza that you've been craving. You can give yourself whatever it is, the jerk chicken, the Mexican food, whatever it is that you like every now and again. Once you have an established, routine, when you have an established structure and your body's used to metabolizing the same foods, you can incorporate those things that you like, those sweets, those desserts every now and again, right? Nothing that your body is unfamiliar with, though, right? You want to just keep it familiar and you want to just, again, give yourself a little bit of it along the way so that when it comes time and you crave it, you don't binge, because when you binge, you fuck everything up and you undo all of your progress. So do not restrict foods from your life only to binge eat them, when you can't control that urge, that feeling. And believe me, I'm a pro bodybuilder, but I still get the urges too. Fuck, I just had a pizza last night and it's not even done, but I'm going to go finish the rest of it today, right? I've got the structure to maintain that, though. I have a structured out nutrition protocol that I can, delete a couple meals or one meal to factor in this pizza or whatever it is, wings, every now and again, whenever I want something. I'll be honest with you, I personally don't like to order out as much. I still enjoy pizza and stuff, but I personally would rather just follow the system and eat what is going to make me, we'll say, train the most optimally. But every now and again, just like any other human being, I want a fucking pizza. I want a burger. I want a burrito. And that's what I'm going to have, right? There's no going around it, right? So you have to be able to not restrict foods from your life only to binge eat them, because you're going to crave them anyway. And if you try to beat yourself up for it, it's just not good for your mental, and it's going to fuck up your sustainability, and you're going to get right back to where you started. All right. So just keep that in mind, guys and girls. Do not restrict any foods that you actually fucking like. Okay. Just find a way to incorporate it with the caveat that you actually have a structure that you're following. Okay. Don't just fucking feed yourself a whole bunch of junk for no reason. You're not doing the work. All right. Keep that in mind. All right. And this is sort of the last thing I want to bring up in this podcast episode today when it comes to the 3 tips on how to actually burn 25 pounds before March of 2022. And it's this: lean towards being more consistent than intense. Slowly change your habits and mold yourself into a more consistent person instead of trying to eat the entire fucking horse. Okay? So many people are like this, and I used to be like this too, where it's like you're either all in or you're all out, right? And in a way, I'm still like that, but in other things. But when it comes to this, when it comes to nutrition and training, even, I made sort of like when I look at it like, okay, well, fuck, I can go full send and be as intense as possible, but that can only exist for a certain duration of time. Like you can't be 100% on all cylinders every single day, all the time. You'll burn out eventually, right? But what I did realize is, and I was talking about it last week, is when you actually learn to pull back, drop the intensity, and keep like something that's sustainable and something that's consistent, you can actually do that for a longer period of time, way longer than you could if you were to be intense. And the results would be way better than if you were to be intense, simply because you're able to be consistent. I don't give a fuck if you can go full send for 100 days straight, and then the rest of the fucking 265 days of the year, you don't do shit at all. I give a fuck if you can go 50%, 60, 70, 80%, 70, 80% even, fuck, 365 days a year, because your results will be better that way. If you're never letting off the gas because you're that consistent, it doesn't matter how much you're flooring it, you never let off the gas, where someone fucking sinks it, red lines, and then lets off the gas, and now the car's not moving. The rabbit versus the hare, guys and girls. The rabbit versus the hare. Okay? Do what's better long term for better results long term. It's sort of like when we talk about losing 25 pounds in the month, like we talked about earlier in this podcast. You lose 25 pounds in that 1 month, and then fucking like you were going intense. You did everything right. You killed it. And then the next month, you gain like 15 pounds, 10 pounds, even 25 or 30 pounds back, because you went from fucking fully intense to jack shit, nothing at all. And that's not the way to be sustainable. That's not the way that results actually stick. And that's just going to fuck you up long term, like internally as well, right? Your digestive system, your endocrine levels, like your hormones will be messed up if you do that, right? So comparing that to losing 1.5 to 2 pounds per week, which is just consistent, you just got to consistently lose that much in the same 3-month span. You can make all that progress and hit that goal, as opposed to losing all that weight in 1 month, then the next one even gaining more than you lost, right? And then the month after that, it's just a write-off because you're not even focused anymore, right? So keep that in mind. The rabbit versus the hare, or sorry, the tortoise versus the hare. Okay, and the tortoise always fucking wins. So consistency more than intensity. Value that, all right? If this makes sense to you, nod your head. If you're listening to this podcast, you're like, okay, yeah, that's fucking bars. That makes sense. Just nod your head. That's all I want, right? I want to actually give you guys the info that I used, my mistakes, my experiences that actually helped me not only become a professional bodybuilder, but help my clients, my best clients, lose their own fucking weight too. Because not everybody I talk to is a pro bodybuilder or interested in competing. All right. So this is for you guys. All right. So that's it. That's all. Let's get pissed off for greatness. I know we got a little bit vulnerable and maybe a bit too raw, but I'll never stop being me for anyone. That's law. Claim that energy. All right. If you laughed, cried, got any value, motivation, or inspiration from this podcast, share it out to one friend that you know will enjoy it too. Shameless plug, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Matt Butale, the search bar, to see how I live my life outside of social media. And also, if you want to lose 25 pounds yourself, you want to lose 25 pounds yourself and become a part of the Natural Nomad Academy, feel free to DM me and I'll see if you'll be a good fit. Again, I don't just take on anybody, so keep that in mind. Only serious individuals that are willing to fucking work. All right, that's it. That's all. It's been nice chatting. I hope you liked what today's topic was about. Natural IFBB Pro Matt signing out. You know what it is, people. Have the best fucking Monday of your life. Boom. Podcast recorded. That's it. That's all, people. I really do appreciate you. Thank you so much. I hope you got value from this. If you did, share it out to a friend. Tell a friend. Don't be selfish. I appreciate all the likes on TikTok. 680 likes. Love it. Alan, what's good? I see you there. Doc, what's happening? Sam Jones, thanks for tuning in. Arjun, my client, tuned in. What's up, Arjun? All you people over there on Instagram too. So many of you. I could shout you all out, but I don't have the time. I just fucking appreciate each and every single one of you for showing up. Nothing but love, people. Nothing but love. All right, that's it. That's all. I'm going to go eat, crush my legs, and, just get it on from here. Not Gracie Jake, man. I appreciate you showing up. Appreciate the likes. You know it's good. All right, people. That is all. We are out. Cheers, y'all.